Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. I hope you're having a positive and productive day so far. My name is Kel with the Planner Isle, and today I'm reviewing the December Deluxe subscription from 8Lotus and sharing all the ways you can use the items inside. This is the fourth sub box by 8Lotus, and so far all of their boxes have been top tier, so I can't imagine this box would be anything less. Definitely my favorite planner subscription I currently have. I do have a playlist with reviews of previous boxes. If you're interested in seeing those, I'll be sure to link that down below. Make sure to stick around until the end for my final thoughts, and as always, feel free to leave me a comment below with any questions or topics you'd like for me to include in my next video. Without further ado, let's hop in. So first we have this vellum card that lists what's in the box. The first two categories are what's included in the classic subscription, and all four sections are included in the deluxe subscription. Then we have a little thank you card, a horizontal calendar card for December, and a square journaling card that says trust the process. Next, for deluxe subscribers, we have our planner accessories pack. It looks like we're getting one of these each month, which is fantastic. First, we have the December intentions card and matching journaling card set. For December, our three intentions are send thoughtful notes and gifts, savor the season, and practice generosity. Really great little notes for the holiday season. There's also little sayings underneath each statement. I'm not going to go through them all, but feel free to pause if you'd like to read each one. The intention cards live in the front of my planner. Since they're tailored to the month, it's perfect to have in my main agenda as nice little reminders throughout my weeks. I haven't used the matching card sets yet. Square cards tend not to be my friend when I'm setting up my spreads, but I think I'm going to try and use these in my personal planner that I use as my wallet. I also may use them on my desk or other areas in my office. They also include 3 smaller rectangle cards each month as well. These always match the theme of the month. So this month we have a photo of stockings, one of wrapped gifts, and a photo of ornaments. Similar to the square cards, I've not used these yet either, but I love the idea of using these as a pop of color in strategic places in your agendas or notebooks. My favorite thing about the planner accessories pack is that it's not dated, so you can reuse these year after year if you want, especially the holiday themed cards. It's great to have if you want to decorate your agenda for the holidays without having to purchase new decor each year. Last, they gave us this December date card. You have your calendar at the top and 6 lines underneath to write anything important that you want to list for the month. I love this card. It also lives in my main agenda. I like to use these to mark paydays or any important events for the month, but you can use these for anything you want to see at a glance. One idea that could be cool is to use it as a bill checkoff list. You can use dot stickers or a highlighter to mark your bill due dates on the calendar, use the lines to list your bills, and then check off each dot or highlight each time you pay it. Could be a good way to track your bills without having to use a separate insert in your agenda. Next, we have 4 dashboards. These 2 come with the classic subscription and all 4 come with the deluxe. So starting with these 2 first, this is the Dreamscape Clouds dashboard. You have this sort of hazy, smoky cloud design with a blend of beige and gray coloring printed on a heavyweight cardstock. It comes paired with the Dare to Dream dashboard. This one is a smooth matte vellum. At the top it says reminder, and then it says Dare to Dream with dream in large lowercase, and then at the bottom it says for in dreams we plant the seeds of our future with the logo super tiny at the bottom right. So this is by far one of my favorite combos. I honestly love everything about this dashboard set. You can definitely use them separately, but these layered together are so beautiful, so calming, and it visually matches the messaging. This sort of dreamy cloud landscape is such a perfect representation of a dream, and the coloring and design is super relaxing and really understated. What I love the most about this though is the quote. We're basically in December now, which is a time when many of us start to think about our dreams and goals and the things that we want to accomplish in the new year. I certainly have a ton of goals and aspirations, and this dashboard really speaks to that, both visually and literally. I already have my business planner pretty much set up, but now I'm debating using this as my front cover instead of what I have now. Most of my goals for 2025 are centered around my business, and I love the idea of opening my agenda and seeing this each day. My business planner setup is coming soon in a couple of weeks, so I'll definitely decide by then. But even if I don't use it in that agenda, I'll definitely be using it somewhere. Two of my favorite dashboards they've sent, and such a great set for the end of the year. Next, we have the December dashboard and the Frosted Pines dashboard. I'll talk about the December one in a second, but first, y'all, I can't. Look at this dashboard. It is absolutely gorgeous. These seasonal dashboards have been sheer perfection since they've been sending them. The way that they capture the essence of each month is spot on. When we got the November dashboard last month, I fell in love with it. It embodied the month perfectly, and this month they somehow one-upped themselves. The amount of detail and texture that this print shows is so nice, and I love how it's decorative without going overboard. When you look at this photo, it looks like the holidays, it feels like winter, and it just fits the theme to a T. Usually I don't change out my decor that often in my agendas since I don't really use that much decor, but ever since 8Lotus has been including these seasonal dashboards, I've been using them in the front of my planner each month, and that's not something I typically do. As most of you know by now, I'm not a decorative planner. I like my spreads to be aesthetic and look nice, but I don't pack my planners with a bunch of fancy stickers and journaling cards and charms and things. It's just not my style. The thing I love about their dashboards is that they're decorative, but they're not overbearing. There's color, but it's subtle. There's design, but it's simple, which allows you to spice up your planner, add some flavor and personality while still maintaining its functionality. I don't know if 8Lotus has a designer for these dashboards, a team, or if Vivian is doing this by herself, but they have been knocking it out of the park with these dashboards, and whoever is behind these designs deserves a raise. Looking at the December dashboard, this is another style of their monthly vellum covers. This is the same thin matte vellum material that they've sent previously. These are the previous months, so they seem to be sending different styles each month for us to try out. I definitely like this one and the October style the best. On this one, you have chapter 12 at the top and December in all uppercase split in two lines in the center. Similar to the planner accessories pack, these are undated, so you can reuse these each year. I do like these cover pages, but I don't really use them in my agendas just because my setups aren't really designed that way. If you do want a cover for each month, these are a really great option to separate each of your monthly sections, whether you're using weekly, monthly, or even your daily inserts. And because they're thin, they don't take up a whole lot of space, which is great if you stuff your planners. I don't really have plans to use these unless I change my agenda layouts. If I do, it'll end up in one of my supplemental planners, but I like the simplicity of their vellum covers, and I think it'll make a nice practical addition to your agenda. Next, we have our set of inserts, and like previous boxes, this month they sent 4. We have yearly overview, gifts received, brain dump, and product review inserts. So starting with the yearly overview inserts, there's 15 sheets front and back, so 30 pages total. At the top, you have a line to list your subject or category, yearly overview, and then a large table below that. Here you have a header row at the top, a row for each month of the year, and then a totals row at the bottom with 4 columns for each month. And then at the very bottom, you have 4 lines to write whatever you wish. So at first glance, I thought maybe this was a goals overview page, but then I saw the row for totals at the bottom, indicating that this is probably intended for something cumulative, like adding up the number of days you've completed a task, or it could be used for adding up exercise days, budgeting, or something similar. It's pretty open-ended, which gives you the versatility to use it in a number of ways, which is good for those who like to have more flexibility with their spreads. You also have 4 columns here, so you can track 4 separate areas. So for example, if you want to use this for budgeting, you can list the top 4 categories you want to monitor your spending in, and then list the amounts you spend each month for that specific category. That's how I plan to use these. I track my budget very carefully, but I don't have a one-pager that shows a monthly comparison between the categories I'm tracking for the year. I track it on my expense tracker, but I like the idea of having one sheet where I can list my budget at the top and see my totals for the entire year for multiple categories on one page without having to flip back and forth in my budget overview. My budget setup is coming in a few weeks as well. I'll make sure to show you guys how I plan to use this in detail in that video, but I'm really excited to use this for tracking my high spend areas, and I think it's going to be a really great insert to help hold myself accountable next year. Outside of budgeting, you can also use it to track wellness categories, so maybe the number of workout days or calories you're targeting for each month. Maybe you're tracking your water or reducing medication. You can also use it to log the number of meetings that you have for each month. If you're a content creator, you could use this to monitor your posts or uploads, so maybe your goal is publishing 5 videos a month. This could be a good way to make sure that you stay on track. To that same point, if you have a subscriber or follower goal, you can use this to list the number of subscribers on your top 4 platforms at the end of each month as a way to monitor your progress and compare your performance from month to month. If your performance is worse in March compared to June, then this can help you determine what strategies or videos aren't performing as well and where you can make adjustments. Because it is so open, you have the flexibility and the space to use it in so many ways, which is the strength of this insert. I'm really glad that they included this, and I feel like we're going to see a lot of custom uses for this insert. I'm excited to see how people utilize it myself, but this is a great insert, super versatile, and a great addition to your planner. Second, we have the gift received inserts. Here we have 10 sheets front and back, so 20 pages total. At the top, you have a line and gifts received, and underneath you have 3 columns, one to list the giver, one to list the gift, and one to list your thank you and to check off when you've sent it. So these are super straightforward and very appropriate for the holiday season. You can obviously use these as a way to ensure that you don't miss sending thank yous to anyone who sent you Christmas gifts, but I see these working really well for corporate gifts or other events, graduation and weddings especially. Not everyone sends thank yous for Christmas, especially if it's like close family or friends or something, but a lot of times the gifts that you get for graduation, for example, come from extended families, teachers or professors, or other people who you don't have as close of a relationship with. In that case, you can use these to not only keep track of those gifts, but to also list what thank you gifts you decide to send in case it changes between people. Similar with weddings, this can serve as a great way to keep tabs on what you've received and to help make sure that you're following up with everyone who did send or bring something. If you're in the corporate world and you do client gifting, this would be perfect for that. Or alternatively, you can use this as an RSVP or attendee list and use the checklist to mark who you received a thank you from. Either way, it's a super useful insert to have on special occasions to pull out when you need to. I don't have any plans to use these at the moment, but these really aren't intended to be everyday inserts. They'll definitely come in handy in the event that you do need to use them, so it's great to keep several of these on hand. Next, we have a set of brain dump inserts. There's 19 sheets front and back, so 38 pages total. Similar to the others, you have a line at the top and brain dump, and then you have 4 graph grids. The first says urgent and important, due. Next to that, you have important and not urgent, schedule. Below that, urgent and not important, delegate, and then not urgent and not important, delete. So first off, this insert is great, and I'll get to the why in just a second, but I do have to mention that this is not a brain dump insert, and I feel like it's misnamed. When people think of brain dump, most of us imagine a page where you can quickly jot down the ideas and thoughts that pop up in your head and get it all down on paper, but you're not organizing or categorizing at that stage. Once you start organizing your thoughts into action items, then it becomes more of a task spread and not a brain dump. This particular insert is a productivity or task planner insert using the Eisenhower matrix. If you're not familiar with the Eisenhower matrix, it's a productivity tool that's designed to help you prioritize your tasks based on how urgent and important each task is. So as you can see here, the matrix is divided into 4 quadrants based on level of importance. The first one is where you put the tasks that you need to take action on right away. So this would be for things like tight deadlines, emergencies that pop up, or anything else that's pressing. The second is where you list your tasks that are important and crucial to your project or long-term goals, but don't require immediate action. So these would be things you would schedule, like developing certain skills, setting up a fitness routine, or maybe creating a savings plan. The third section is for those tasks that need immediate attention, but don't contribute significantly to your long-term progress or goals. So according to the matrix, these would be things that need to get done quickly that you could delegate. So this would be things like certain emails that pop up, smaller asks, or other minor requests. And then the last section is for those things that don't require your immediate attention, don't really help you achieve your goals, and those that you can essentially eliminate to help free up time for more meaningful activities. So these would be things like unnecessary meetings, spending hours on social media, or other tasks of low importance. You can see here, this insert is set up to allow you to follow this productivity method to a T. I used to use this method a lot when I was in grad school. I was working full-time and taking night classes, and this technique saved my sanity during those years. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this planning technique, otherwise this video will be 2 hours long, but I'm glad 8Lotus included these inserts in the box. They're truly a game changer when it comes to helping you hone your focus on the things that matter the most, and it helps reduce mind clutter when you have competing priorities. If you don't want to use the Eisenhower matrix, you can always cover the headers with labels or washi or something and use the grids for something else. But if you're in the working world, or if you have a schedule that stays pretty busy with different types of tasks, then I think this would be a great insert for you to try out. The last inserts they gave us this month are the product review inserts. Here we have 15 pages front and back, so 30 pages total. At the top, you have a line and product review, followed by 4 sections on each page. Each section has a space to write the product, a line to list the store or brand, the date of purchase, and 4 lines for your review and any notes you want to add. And then on the right-hand side, you have a line to list the price and space to mark how many stars you rate the product and service, and then a checkbox to check off if you'd purchase it again. So I'm a little confused by this insert, to be honest. I get the idea of it, but I'm not sure how useful it'll be for most consumers. I feel like if you buy something, most people, if they give a review, they're going to give it online. And if you don't like something, you don't need to write it down to remember you don't like it, because you're automatically not going to order it again. The same thing with products that you like. I feel like you don't need to necessarily have a list of how much you liked it, unless maybe it's something that you'd buy again. I guess I could see this working for products with a lot of similarities that you would repurchase on an annual or semi-annual basis. So for example, maybe you're purchasing new dot stickers for the new year and you used several from different shops this year. You could list shops that you bought stickers from here, rate them, and then you'd have a list to compare and see which ones you preferred. You could also use it to help differentiate between price and sizes, especially if you're buying in bulk or making a large change from what you purchased before. Now that I think about it, there's a lot of things using that scenario that these inserts could work for. Maybe you're painting a house and you're trying to compare paint colors by brand and price and quality before you make your purchase. You could use this list to list out all the ones that you've tried and then finalize your choice after making an informed decision. This could also work for groceries. Maybe you're trying a new brand of juice or bread or something, and you want to keep a log of how well your family enjoyed it compared to other brands that you've tried. This would be a really great way to log and keep track of that. I'm not sure how I plan to use this, but the more I'm thinking of ways these can work, the more I see the benefit, and I can really see people getting some practical use out of these. I'd love to know how y'all are using yours. Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. So moving on from the inserts, next we have a set of semi-transparent stickers. Here we have one sheet of 35 star icons and one sheet of 35 gift icons. So I was super nervous when I first saw these. They sent stickers last month and the adhesive was worn off, so they didn't stick. Testing these, they're both nice and sticky, so that's great. Also, just a quick note, I did contact 8Lotus last month and they corrected it immediately, so 2 thumbs up for excellent customer service. So icon stickers are always great to have. They're really nice to use on your spreads to mark an event or a task or categorize a task without having to write it out physically. They tend to save space and they look nice on your page, especially if you're using a smaller planner or if your layout doesn't allow a lot of space for writing. The gift icons are great to mark if you're shopping for gifts or marking Christmas or birthdays. You can also use them as reminders to purchase a gift or as a reminder for certain events that are related. So maybe holiday parties, birthday parties, or things like that. The star icons are much more versatile. You can use these to mark urgent tasks or as an icon to differentiate between work and personal. You can also use these as a rating system. So for example, let's say you're rating how well you stuck to your diet this month. You can line 5 of these up and then color in the correct number of stars based on how well you did that month. I don't have plans to use these, but that's because I'm being very picky with my icon stickers for 2025. This year, I used a mix of icons of different sizes and from different shops. Next year, I wanted one style of icon sticker so my spreads would look consistent. I also personally prefer kiss cut stickers, meaning the cutout follows the shape of the sticker. As you can see here, these are both round, not a huge deal to most people, but just a personal preference of mine. I'm glad they included these. I love the size of the sheet they're on. It's easy to fit in your agendas, even the smaller ones like Pocket and A6, a very functional way to add detail to your planner spreads. Moving on, we have a set of daily plan sticky notes. There's 25 notes on each pad, so 50 total. At the top it says daily plan with a line for the date and then 5 blank boxes underneath with a circle to check off once that item is completed. So these are very simple, very straightforward sticky notes and an easy way to make a quick list of your top priorities for your day. And because it's a sticky note, you can stick it to whatever page your planner is currently open to, making sure that it's always visible. You can also just stick it to your desk or to your monitor or laptop or really anywhere else that you tend to look throughout your day. For me, I plan to use these to list tasks that pop up during the day that aren't planned. A lot of times I'll be busy working on something and I'll get a call or an email with something that I need to take care of with some sense of urgency. This will be a perfect place for me to write those tasks down. Then once everything is complete, I can just toss it in the trash without having to worry about having to use an entire new page. Again, these are pretty simple, functional stickies. They can work in just about any planning routine, whether it's a daily schedule or a targeted routine like fitness or budgeting. I think a lot of folks will find good use for these and they make a great addition to my sticky note collection. Next, we have a set of holiday gift tags. They included 8 total. On the front, it says Happy Holidays in maroon uppercase, and then on the back, you have your to and from field in that same maroon color. Not really too much to say with these. Similar to the stickies, these are very simple and straightforward, and they're a perfect addition for the December box with the holidays right around the corner. These are super minimal, but I love the simplicity of these. It allows you to use them no matter if you're giving a gift to your bestie or to your boss. I do wish that they included a ribbon or something with these tags. Not everyone keeps ribbon or string around the house. I know I don't. It would have been nice to get a little matching maroon ribbon or tie for these, but the cards themselves are really nice and again, great for the holidays. The last item we have this month is the Pentel Calm ballpoint pen. This one is in the color black and it has a 0.5mm tip. Doing a pen test here, it writes pretty decent. It is a ballpoint pen, so the ink isn't as consistent when compared to gel pens. This pen did come in another sub box recently, and I've been playing around with it a bit. I mentioned this in another review, but I'm not typically a fan of ballpoint pens in general. They write smooth for the most part, but I always have issues with clarity, and they tend to be less pigmented overall. I do love the look and feel of this pen though. The body is this beautiful earthy green olive tone, and the front half has a rubberized grip that keeps it from slipping in your hand. I think if you're in the market for a ballpoint pen, this is a fine choice and you should be pretty happy with it. If you're comparing it with other pens for overall use in your planner though, this certainly would not be my first pick. I'll probably keep this in my car to use on the go. I know a lot of times if you have to sign documents or something, they require a ballpoint pen, so this will likely live in my center console. And that wraps up the December Deluxe box from 8Lotus. Overall, this is again a great box by this company. They seem to be really dialing in on giving us practical and useful items with a slight lean towards the theme of the month. With this month being December, clearly this was a box with a lot of seasonal accents, and the products they included had a nice balance of fitting that theme without being overly decorative or including a lot of one-time use accessories. My favorite item this month is the Frosted Pines dashboard. It's so beautiful and it fits the month of December so well. They've been killing it with all of their dashboards, and 2025 will probably be the first year that I change out my front dashboards each month just so I can utilize the ones they include. My least favorite item this month is probably the product review inserts. Although I do think people will find a use for these, I personally feel like I'll end up using these less frequently than the others they included this month. There also weren't any quality control issues in this box, which was refreshing to see. The last two boxes had a few issues pop up, but everything was in perfect condition this month, so that's definitely an improvement. I don't know if they're going to change anything with their offerings come January. We'll see next month. I kind of hope they don't. I mentioned this in the intro, but the 8Lotus Deluxe subscription is currently my favorite planner box that I subscribe to. The core of their subscription is centered around functionality, which makes this box and all of their boxes to date a huge win in my book. And that is it, you guys. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more planning and organizational content, please hit that like button and subscribe. It helps my channel out a lot. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram for more planner tips and inspo, sending positive vibes your way. Until next time, stay safe and have a wonderful rest of your day.